Hey, what's going on, everyone? How you doing? I hope you're doing well. Gonna be talking about Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. I already made a video before, but you know how to make a proper Twitter trash because that's where all the hot takes are born on Twitter, and I gathered some of the best ones. They're pretty ridiculous if you haven't seen all of them. I'm sure you've seen some of them, but not all the ones that I have. And after this, that's going to be the video. No more. We're not going to talk about it anymore. It's not going to be long and drawn out like Will and Jada's marriage. You're going to keep it short and sweet. And before we jump into it, how are they still together? Like, what is going on here? You know their marriage is toxic. You know Will Smith has banged the earth. You know he absolutely destroyed Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad. And we already know about what Jada's been up to. We know about her entanglements. We've been through it. The world has been through it. So what is the point of Will staying with this emotionally abusive, just extremely toxic, promiscuous cancer patient? Like, Jada's pussy is not that good, I promise you. Hello?
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth!
Dude, I want to, but she keeps asking me to say her name, and that she's so close to being finished, bro.
Keep fucking my wife's mouth!
I mean, I'm absolutely going to. I promise you. You know, I just need a little bit of help, man. She's very experienced. What is she into? What is she like?
Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee.
All right, sounds good.
Oh, that's hot.
All right, man. You take it easy. I'll make sure to get her done.
That's hot.
All right, take care. Love you. All right, as I was saying,
Supreme victory!
so the spectrum of bad takes ranges from people agreeing with Will Smith, people blowing the situation completely to the stratosphere like it was the worst thing that's ever happened, and then just weird takes, just racializing it. That's it for the most part. So let's get started though with probably one of the best tweets that I'm sure a lot of you have seen, but we still gotta make fun of it. He could have killed him. That's pure out of control rage and violence. They've heard a million jokes about them in the last 3 decades. They are not freshmen in the world of Hollywood and comedy. He lost his mind. Bro, I still love this so much. I love this tweet, man. It's just, I just wonder what was going through Judd's head when like, what did he see? Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. When I started searching for the slap when it happened, there was a lot of people, they only got to see it once because they were watching it live. They didn't DVR or whatever. They're just watching it live like television. So they thought he punched him. There was a lot of tweets, even in the very beginning, talking about him being punched. So maybe Judd thought Will Smith punched him. And okay, yeah, sucker punching someone could lead to them getting knocked out, hitting their head on the hard floor, and then dying. It's actually happened a lot of times. It sucks when it happens, but it's happened more times than you'd probably notice, because, you know, who's actually looking for those videos? Who wants to see someone get knocked out and then they die? You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's the angle he was taking. Even in that angle, it's not like it's extremely common. It's still a rare thing to happen. So even if he thought it was a punch, it's still like, come on, bro. It's not like Chris Rock even fell down. Like, even if he did get punched, man, I would be like, he has a really good chin, right? Because, yeah, he got slapped and he took that well. But if he took a punch that well, I'd be like, bruh, don't mess with Chris Rock. Now, Ethan Klein had a take, but this isn't the problem. It's actually a quote tweet. Will Smith, just a walking L since his wife decided to start weekly humiliating him on her Facebook show. Prob should deal with her whatever trauma he has with her instead of punching Chris Rock in the face for an extremely tame joke. He needs to be escorted off the Oscars. L. Now, see what I'm talking about where he says punch? So like, I think a lot of people thought it was a punch or something. Maybe they didn't see the clip at first, or they just saw the quick thing and they didn't get to watch it again or whatever. But this was the interesting thing, this quote tweet right here. He defended his wife, something I know you aren't familiar with. Now, I know I don't watch H3 podcasts all that much. I used to watch it a lot more before the pandemic, and you know, where things were different. It was a little more guest heavy. Now it's kind of just like a hangout show with their friends, and you know, it's whatever. It's still very popular, obviously still getting millions of views, so good on them. But what happened to Hila? Did something happen to her where she needed to be defended or something? And then he didn't do... Because as far as I'm concerned, they're both killing it. They just had their second kid. Their clothing company is massive. Their podcast is doing very well. I'm just like, what happened? I must be missing something, but I don't know, man. It's just a weird take, though. Overall, though, where there's so many people that are just defending Will Smith for what he did, and just saying that, like, yo, that's what is deserved. And the reason why people are saying this in the first place is because everyone's assuming that Chris Rock knew about this alopecia thing, you know, and we're going to get into that even more later. But regardless of if he knew or not, it was still a joke. Everybody knows the role of Chris Rock and the host at these award shows. They are to roast the people that are attending. The justification for this, whether he knew or not, which he didn't know. He didn't know. You didn't know. I didn't know. Almost nobody fucking knew, other than her diehard fans, which is probably like 10 people, and then her family. That's it. G.I. Jane didn't have alopecia. G.I. Jane is a badass chick played by Demi Moore and happened to have a buzzed head for the army. That's the fucking joke. When your husband's about to make history, but you want to ruin his night. Which is something that I'm like, yeah, that's essentially what did happen. I mean, history in a sense of, in the context of the history of the Oscars, right? And then somebody replied with this: make history? Winning a statue for playing make-believe isn't making history. President Zelensky is making history. Perspective, please. Look, I'm not a violent person, but you do have the urge to want to slap people like that, don't you? It's not like I actually would, but you kind of want them just shut up a little bit. You kind of want to, don't you? Because it's like, why are you here? What are you doing? This totally reminds me of a tweet that I saw earlier, maybe a couple of weeks ago, where my boy Ice-T was just announcing that there's a new season of SVU or whatever. You know, he's on like SVU. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he's still on SVU. And somebody responded with this: sorry, but I can't follow you anymore because all your posts are only about you and not about anything bigger than you. It's unfortunate because I was always a big fan of yours. Solidarity with Ukraine. Down with the oppressor.
I got news for you. That means you're gay.
To clarify on the earlier tweet I had to delete, oh boy, I'm obviously not saying it was the same as 9/11. But Will Smith slapping Chris Rock had a similar live TV shock value that will echo throughout our culture. 9/11 was worse, but Muhammad Atta did not win an Oscar right after. And of course he deleted this tweet too, because I love that he tried to clarify that, like, bro, dude, this is not going to be talked about in about a month from now. No one's going to talk about this anymore. And the only time it's going to come up again is if Will Smith does something of significance again, and then people will bring it up, like they bring up the entanglement, like they bring up his YouTube rewind thing, and they're going to bring up the slap. Say if Chris Rock does something significant, like he gets a huge Netflix special or something, and then say the Oscars rolls around for next year in 2023. Now, quite a few people, naturally, because of all they do is see color, no matter what, you know, they don't care about people's character, they only care about color. They had to bring race into the argument. He could have let Jada handle it. Respectfully, white women are used to knowing white men will do this for them. I think it's taking y'all aback that black men also love and defend black women in the same way because you're not used to seeing it. Yes, he could have let her handle it, but black women also deserve to be publicly defended when they're disrespected. Women of color are worthy of the same protections that white women take for granted. What are you talking about? How often does a scenario like this happen for you to even try to compare this and make it a white and black issue? Doesn't happen that often. And if you want to take it to there, niggas kill niggas over their wives, significant others, and all that shit all the time. All the time. Are you talking to my girl? Oh, violence. Yes, happens all the time. Shouldn't even be celebrated. I don't even know what the hell's going on here. I don't know what's this thing to, like, give me examples of white people in this same scenario at an award show or at a huge public event, and then say in the same thing, not seeing it happen. I just don't even how you come to this conclusion. It sucks. It's kind of sad, you know, because it's like, dude, you don't have to see every single thing as a white versus black issue, man. Like, it's these people who are, you know, coming from the marginalized and victim side, and then there's the oppressive supremacy side. They all have the same lens, though. It sucks. Pro tip: all experienced professional humorists know there will be consequences for mocking physical ailments/conditions beyond the control of the subject. We learned that rule by crossing the line and getting slapped back. So as I was saying before, Chris Rock didn't know about it. And if you're not a complete dense moron, you would know that too. Not only because, you know, Rock's publicist said that, like, oh, he didn't know, but you should have been able to figure that out on your own if your brain isn't completely damaged. Because even with the scenario happening, when Rock doubled down saying, wow, like, it's just a G.I. Jane joke, what he's saying is it's a harmless, stupid joke because you have a shaved head or a buzzed haircut like G.I. Jane. He didn't go, wow, it was just an alopecia joke. Wow, it was just a medical condition joke. Of fucking course he wasn't making fun of her condition. He didn't know she had it. No one knew she had it. She had this little part right there, and I never noticed it. I've seen her post pictures of her shaved head. I didn't know at all that she had alopecia. Fucking nobody knew, and everyone's acting like they knew. And I swear that's the weirdest part of this whole situation to me, is everyone, and I mean, and I've talked to people, and then they admitted that, like, oh, I didn't know either. Like, no fucking shit. That's why the whole thing is, that's why it's supposed to be a harmless, stupid joke. It's the Oscars. No one's making fun of medical conditions. Like, I assure you a bunch of people were probably trying to scour the internet, trying to find these award shows, and look when he made fun of this condition and this condition. Like, you know, usually at the Oscars and stuff like that, it's not that serious. There's different comedy clubs, and then there's actual roast where, yeah, they will go hard in the paint on everything. Yeah, because it's like, you know what you're signing up for. And you know what you're signing up for by going to the Oscars, where you're going to have some stupid jokes made at your expense. So the fact that Will Smith got offended by Jada's face, which, because I'm sure she doesn't like Chris Rock because Chris Rock went hard in the paint on her in 2016. Like, it's just one of those things that, like, people tweeting stuff out like this is so fucking stupid, where it's like, yeah, dude, definitely people should just get slapped for talking. Like, essentially people are saying, you know, free speech. Like, when we talk about free speech, we usually talk about you're not going to go to jail, you're not going to be punished by the government and stuff like that. But it also kind of extends to people aren't going to assault or kill you for simply saying something. They can, but they will have consequences themselves, right? But what you see right here is socially some people trying to say, no, it should be this way. You should be able to get slapped if you say something wrong. Now look, we would all love to slap certain Karens and whatnot that act out when they're, you know, they're on airplanes, or they're in a fast food joint and they're being really stupid. But it's one of those things where it's like, we don't do that because we know what kind of president that actually sets. There's a lot of people are gonna get slapped, and it's gonna for sure escalate, because physical violence typically escalates to even more violence. That's why they say violence begets violence, right? Chris Rock's one joke was rooted in misogynoir. That's a new one. See, at first I was like, wait, I think this is a typo, and it's just supposed to be misogyny, but no, it must be misogynoir, like as far as hating women, black women, because noir, right? So that's, I've never heard of this word. It's another one. I don't know if it's in the dictionary at all. I doubt it, but let's continue. Misogynoir, texturism, and ableism, degrading black women in a room full of her peers on live TV. The fact y'all don't see that as violent is beyond me. Yeah, I just saw this really dumb fucking tweet, and yeah, I'm just gonna kill myself, but I just wanted to know, like, would it be better for me to just, you guys come in like 10 minutes, come get my body, or should I just wait for my loved one to get home and they'll find me and then they'll call you guys? I just don't know proper etiquette, like. Well, I feel like, hanging myself in a ceiling fan would probably be better. Yeah, I don't want to leave a mess. That would be messed up. Like, this is a brand new house and everything too. All right, appreciate it, guys. Thank you. But y'all take care. I actually have to make a few calls. Got to go pick up Jada from August's house, and we're all gonna go figure out what we're gonna do. All right. Take it easy and protect yourself if you're a comedian. Wear boxing gloves or maybe wear some armor like Andrew Schultz.